Right, good morning everybody. I'll put the questions up there for you to have a go at. Pause the video and go through them on your own, or you can have a go alongside me. Follow my methods, I don't mind. Right, 4 squared, the first one. 4 squared means 4 times 4, which is 16. Okay, so the first one, the answer is 16. Second one. Right, so for this one, you have to order the fractions from smallest to highest, but they've got different denominators at the moment. So I need to convert them into the same denominator, and then I can order them. 1/2, 3/8, 3/4. Okay, so a quarter is going to be 2/8. That's going to be 1/8. That's going to be 4/8. That's 3/8, and that is 6/8. Okay. Now, when you give the answer, you're not going to give the fraction over 8 unless it was originally over 8. You're going to give it over what it was originally over. So the smallest is 1/8, which was already over 8. So that one's done. Then it was 2/8, which is a quarter. Then it's 3/8, which was 3/8. Then it's 4/8, which was a half. And then it was 6/8, which is 3/4. Okay. So that's your answer here. Now you've probably written your fractions like that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you should be writing them, in all honesty. But you may well see them like that as well. So it doesn't hurt seeing them both ways. You'll see here, I did it the way that you know and then swapped to the other way. But they mean exactly the same thing. No difference. How many months in a year? 12. Okay, don't need to waste my time on that one. Record 2/5 as a 2/5 record as a decimal. Right. So 5/5 will be 1. Okay, 1.0. To make it clearer for you, if you're converting between decimals. 5/5 is your whole, so it equals 1. So you need to find what goes into 1 5 times, or 100 5 times, because 1 is 100 times less than 100. Okay, so you're using known facts here. Now I know 20 times 5 is 100. Okay, so 0.2 times 5 will be 1. 2 times 5 is 10. I'm using, if I know this one, then I know this one, and I also know this one. Well, there you go. 0.2 times 5 is 1. So 1/5 must be worth 0.2. Remember that you divide by the bottom times by the top. Okay, so I've done 1 divided by 5, and then times 5 in this case, but for the one I'm going to do, I'll times 2. So 1/5 is 0.2, so 2/5 is 0.4. So there's your answer. Okay, and then if you count up, you've got 1/5 is 0.2, 2/5 is 0.4, 3/5 is 0.6, 4/5 is 0.8, and 5/5 is 1. So it does work. Okay, so 0.4 is your answer for that one. 0.75 as a fraction, right. It doesn't say the lowest possible fraction, or the simplified fraction, so you could go for 75 over 100. Okay, 0.75 is 75 out of 100. Okay, or 7.5 out of, 0.75 out of 1. 75 out of 100. But if you simplify this, you'd get 3/4. Okay, 1/4 would be 25 over 100, or 25%. 2/4 would be 50 over 100. 50%. 3/4 would be what we've got, 75 over 100. And then obviously 4/4 would be 100 over 100. Okay, so 75 over 100, 3/4. But if you've got 75 over 100 there, that's fine. Or you could have had 750 over 1,000, potentially. The answer I've got in front of me says 3/4, but I'd argue that the question doesn't state that it wants a simplified fraction. So 75 over 100 would be fine. How many millilitres in a litre? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. How many millilitres in a litre? So the way I always think of this is your 330ml Coke can. Coke Zero. I'm going to be healthy. There you go. Colour it black at the top. Coke Zero. If you've drunk 330ml can of Coke, you have not drunk a litre. So if 330ml is not 1 litre, then it can't be 10 millilitres. It can't be 100 millilitres because you'd have drunk 3 litres by now. So it must be 1,000 millilitres. Okay. So how many millilitres in a litre? 1,000 millilitres. Okay. Round 5, 0.736 to 1 decimal place. Again, you're really solid at this, but it's just the word in the question. So 1 decimal place is this one, the tenths. So you're going to go 1 place value column to the right. It's hundredths, but it's a 3, so it rounds down, so it's 5.7. Okay. Ignore that dot, sorry, 5.7. What are all the prime numbers between 0 and 19? Ooh, good one. Okay. So prime is only divisible by 1. You'll notice they're the same sorts of questions every day. But that's all right. Apparently spelling itself is not all right. So what are all the prime numbers between 0 and 19? The easiest way to do this is to run it through the filter, run it through the rule, which is this one. So 1 is an exception. So 1 is going to go over here because it is not a prime number. 2 is a prime number because it is only in the 1 and 2 times table, so 2 is here. 3 is only in the 1 and the 3. 4 is in the 2s. 5 is only in the 1 and the 5. 6 is in the 2s. 7 is in the 1 and the 7s. 8 is in the 2s. 9 is in the 3s. 10 is in the 2s. 11 is only in the 1 and 11. 12 is in the 4s. 13 is only in 1 and 13. 14 is in the 7s. 15 is in 3s. 16 is in 2s. 17 is in, I'll get it in a sec. 17 is in 1 and itself. 18 is over here. Now, 19. Let me have a look at the question. What are all the prime numbers between 0 and 19? Right, well, that's open to interpretation. For me, it does not want you to include 0 and 19. But if you wanted to, if you've interpreted that question as wanting 19 included, then 19 is over here. I think. 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. Yeah, that's fine. My maths isn't there today. But if you've assumed that it's not, then it needs to go over here, and this is your completed list. Okay, so there's a bit of wiggle room on that one. It's a bit ambiguous in terms of the wording. For me, what are all the prime numbers between 0 and 19? I would be putting it over here. Because 19 is not between 19, if that makes sense. How many degrees in a right angle? That's a right angle there. You draw it like that. Well, roughly. Right angle. It's 90. Okay. There's 360 degrees in a full turn. So you've got 180, well, there. Then by here you've got 270, and then by there you've got 360. Okay, so it's 9, 18, 27, 36, but it's 90. Okay, right, I'll get rid of all that. As usual, I'll now put a challenge question on the screen for you to have a go at. Pause the video, have a go yourself, and then come back and I will explain how to do it. It is this one here. So let me just zoom in for it, sorry. What is the smallest total that can be made by filling in the addition with the card digit, the digit cards shown? Okay, so it's here. So you're trying to make the smallest that you can. Okay, so I'll pause the video. Well, I can't pause the video. You stop it now, have a go yourself if you want to, and then I'll go through it with you. Okay, so if you're trying to make a smallest amount, then your smallest digits have to go here and your largest digits have to go here, because at this point in your number, it has the smallest moving power over the number. So if I put a 9 there and a 1 there, it's very different to putting a 9 here and a 1 here. Here is a difference of 8. Here is a difference of 8 hundredths. Okay, so a difference of 8 hundredths is much smaller than a difference of 8 units. Okay, think about it in terms of pounds. If you had a difference of £8,000 or 80p, okay, by putting that 8 in a different place value column, it changes its power. Okay, power over the number. So we need to put the smallest digits. I'm just going to write it out myself. 7, 2, 4, 1, 3, 9. And then you've got box, dot, box, box, add, box, dot, box, box. Okay, so I need to use my smallest 2 digits here. So I'm going to do 1 and 2. Okay, and then same logic, I'm going to use the next 2 smallest in the 10ths column, which is the 3 and the 4. Okay, and then I'm going to use the 9 and the 7 there. Okay, so that adds to 6, 4, 8, 3. 3.86 is the very smallest total. Now, if you've got this the other way around, so you've put your 7 here, so you've got 1.37, or you've put your 3 here, whatever, doesn't matter, because you're doing addition, whichever way round you do it, it's commutative. Whichever way round you do it, it will still add to 3.86, and you can have a fiddle with that if you want. So if I were to do 2.37, add 1.49, so I've used the same digits in the same column, but muddled them round, it will still add to 6, 8, 3. Okay, so the answer is the smallest total. So the answer is 3.86. The answer is not where you've put those digits. Okay, 3.86. So that's today's maths. I will see you, when's this going up? Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow, Thursday.